this week.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Crease Dive. Today is Thursday, August 8th, and the Waterdogs are 6 feet under. Their season's dead, playoff hopes dead, franchise on the lifeline with everybody becoming free agents. My name is Doogs, 2 zeros. As always, we have intern Nest. Nest, how are we feeling after that Baltimore weekend?
I'm feeling good now. Again, the hangover for me always last days. I've lost my fastball as far as recovering. I can recover if I'm going again the next day with the fellas, but once the weekend ends and I'm done, I feel like I'm just like 2 days go by, 3 days go by, and I'm still just hurting. So Bar Down Beer Lounge at Baltimore rocked. Going to Baltimore with Dukes rocked. A lot of the Cabrini fellas were there, stayed with them. It was just a good time. I was hurting Saturday, but I stayed out, a little live music, so I'm back now. I'm a little more energy now, so feeling good.
Yeah, that was Baltimore put on a hurting for me. Just kicks my ass every fucking time. But yeah, Baltimore came and went.
I actually have a
Waterdogs.
quote.
We don't even need to recap too much about like the games on Saturday because Waterdogs had a little bit of a comeback in the third quarter where they went like on a 5-goal run to make it and be like, oh shit, could they do this? No, they couldn't. Everybody's a free agent now. They lose to the Whips. Whips go 2-0 at home in the homecoming. Whips look good. Whips look better than, I thought they'd be like a playoff team this year in the bottom half. They're looking like a team that I got to take a deeper look at after they acquired Conrad for a second-round pick. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then game number 2, Outlaws just kicked the shit out of the Redwoods. I don't even know where to begin. I was so wrong about the Outlaws. They were one of my favorite teams to watch. Pseudo, I don't know what he has to his boys, but those fucking young guns are legit. Brennan plays with like his nuts on the table. Ever since that fucking shellacking by the Atlas have looked good. McElroy has played, above average ball. I think great ball. You can even argue. I think he plays his angles really well. And then fucking Graham Bundy just has a rocket ship of a shot. He should play attack.
An absolute missile. The
Yeah.
games on Saturday were a snooze fest. We do not need to go over the games very much. But I do have a quote for you dudes from Cross Mine Dan Arestia. Ran into him Sunday and he said he ran into you Saturday and you hit him with the, I'm gonna take it easy. Famous last words from Doogs, as I can confirm, as we touched on. He got his ass kicked by the bar down. So let's just shout out the local breweries who were brewing the beers. There was definitely alcohol in them, that's for sure. But it was a good time, and it gave us something to do during those games because we were looking around saying, how did we end up back-to-back games 7-0 starts? That's rough. But Sunday's games were great. Sunday's games were very good.
Yeah, Sunday, we'll get into this one. Carolina, Utah. Carolina wins 15-14. Blaze obviously starts the game off with a goalie goal, which you always fucking love to see. Any big takeaways from this game? I know Carolina now looks like they put themselves in good positions for the playoffs. I think that Carolina defense is one of the better that we've seen since the erection of this league, whatever the fucking word is. But I think this defense as a whole is dangerous and not a team you take lightly in the playoffs.
I agree. What I took from that game is the chaos as a whole. Or I think everyone kind of knew they're dangerous. Everyone's like, maybe they didn't have the best record, halfway through the season, and maybe they weren't playing their best, and Blaze was in and out. Now it's like Andy Tower said it best, like that video that was going around, like they better fucking watch out whoever gets the chaos. I think we touched on it the game. Blaze is one of the only goalie in the world, even my guy Colin Kirsch can't do this, who does not have like bad games or stretches. He's just always consistent. His bar is so fucking high and he's always meeting it that like even on a not good day, Blaze is keeping teams so low scoring. And like you saw it with Kirst on Sunday, like Kirst got shelled, but then he locks in. Like Blaze never really gets shelled. And I'd love to see the last time a team went on like a really big scoring run against the chaos. And then, so when he's on, he's on. So that's what I took away from that game. I missed
the
the
most
fucking
shells he's ever gotten in the league.
What'd you say?
I said the most shells he's ever gotten in the league was probably in the bubble, and that Godak clip went viral. But like even like he didn't play his best game on Sunday, and like he's still above 50%,
Well, yeah.
which is just and he has the goal. But yeah, I think just even when you look at the chaos as a whole, I think Knobloch in the past like 3 weeks has turned into an absolute stud. Josh Burns, one of the best in the game, and what you get out of somebody like Ralph Scott, the rookies are really stepping it up for this chaos team. And then again, like their defense is just as a unit, the shorties to the long poles, Will Bowen, Newman, just their size and the way that they can all match up, and they know their roles and who they're going to guard, and you know exactly who they're going to face every single week based off of matchups. I mean, they could double the wings, they could double the poles, they could double the midfield. It doesn't matter. They're a matchup nightmare for a lot of offenses. So the chaos. That's right. It was a team that I thought would be sneaky good going into the year. A team that I was high on, which I kind of at All-Star break I was just like, oh, maybe it's just like not that good. But they look fucking phenomenal. I think this defense really is. I think a top 3 defense I've seen since the start of this league. And then Archers.
I think the Archers are fine.
They're fine.
Battle. It was like that team was fucking awesome. They were just back and forth. End of the game, Archers had a chance, didn't score. That's it. That's like all she wrote. Like, like the next time they play, I'm sure our friends over at DraftKings, I'm sure the line would be very, very similar to a pick'em. So
yeah, and just like as a general, like the Western Conference, just that race for the number 1 seed, it's going to be very fun to watch in these next couple of weeks. I think we got 2 more weeks left.
2, I think,
until the playoffs. Yes, yeah, that'll be very fun.
Then week 1, Boston, the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's Labor Day. But we'll go on to, and then the second game of Sunday was the Whips versus the Cannons, which got a little delay. So then I got out of there because just hangover, waiting around. I knew I wasn't able to stay for the full game anyways because of my train. So Cannons down. What was it? What was it? Do you know what the exact score was?
12-3 at one point or something.
Yeah, it was a shellacking. Cannons fight back, which I knew they'd do. I knew the Cannons would fight back. But like just big takeaways for me personally, I thought Zed Williams is playing like an MVP. If Jeff T, who should the MVP be if Jeff T didn't exist? It's Zed Williams, in my opinion.
100%. Zed Williams has the most 1-point goals by I think the next guy's got 23. So he's a machine, and like he's so physically dominant. Like being right there and watching him, he like slides come and hit him, and they just bounce off of him. He was kind of dunking all over Kirst, which I didn't like to see, but they looked so good at time. And Krebs didn't have the best second half, but between the first game he played on Saturday and the first half he had against the Cannons, I was convinced that he was never gonna not be hot. That he was just like that. This was him forever, and that teams were never gonna score again. They'd shoot like last second shots, Krebs swallowing it, outlet gone, and I was like, dude, we're never gonna score. Luckily, for the thrill of the game, he didn't have the best second half, but he dominated this weekend. Krebs, unbelievable performance. But I'd love to see if anyone got the Cannons live when they were down by 9 on like a little plus. They were probably plus a lot of goals. So I wonder if anyone took that. I should have thought about that. But a great battle. So it turned into a good game late, which was fun to watch.
Yeah, I thought Pat Cat played really well. Just the whole Cannons offense really came alive in the second half. But like again, it's a full game. And then I think the big news for the Whip Snakes coming out of that is they lost Tucker Dordovic. And I think, a lot of people are saying because he just doesn't wear his chin strap, right? People are saying you can't blame the player. You have to blame the person that hits. And Cade Van Rapport. I mean, I think it's a combination of both. I think that like you have to be prepared. Obviously, like it sucks to see someone like Tucker the way that he's played since coming off of IR. He's one of the best players in the league, I think, when he's on the field. So it sucks to lose a player of his caliber. But if you want to stay on the field, you gotta wear the equipment the way it's probably supposed to be worn. And I think that this is a warning to all players. It's not about the way that you look. It's about protection.
Yeah, no, it definitely blows. I feel really like seeing it. It was just like looked really bad. hopefully it all turns out okay. But I know he's definitely fucked up his jaw. But we got to. What I had something I was gonna say about the game. I totally forgot about. You brought up. I forget. We can continue. If I remember, I will bring it up. It's something to do with the Cannons.
You'll think of it, but yeah, I think Pat Cav really came alive in this game.
Thank you. Dude, he seems still like hurt and injured. Like he seems on like rides and like plays where he's not like with the ball. He seems like he's like hurting, and like I know he's been on and off like the lineup. Like I don't know if it's in their best interest. Just like wait till he's healthy because I feel like he's been banged up for so long, and like that's fine. I respect a guy that can go. And I think getting him fully healthy for the playoffs would be in 100% their best interest. Just like watching him, there's no way that's how he normally looks like riding and stuff like that because you could tell he was like limping and hurting. Even at the end of the game, there was a ball to run out and kind of got burned for it. And I picture a healthy Pat Cav, even if he's getting burned, like selling out so fucking hard for it. He could like barely sprint to it. So definitely just like keep an eye on that. They have a bye week.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you. I think that I disagree with that because there's only 2 weeks left. So like it's hurt versus injured. He's already been out half the year. If you want to make a run at the playoffs, you're going to have him in the lineup. Like, and if you think that he gives you the best chance to win, you got to get him like acclimated with this offense. Like you can't just throw in a guy who doesn't have any chemistry with Holman. And because clearly at this point they want him to be the number 3 attackman. So like you can't just like sit him out, put Matt in for the next 2 games, and expect him to go into the attack line for the playoffs and just be like, all right, you picked it up. Because again, this is like a completely new role for him. He's not the quarterback Asher is. That's just my one rebuttal for it. Like, and again, if it's health, it's
in the playoff. Like, I don't think they need him at attack to win a championship this year. That's kind of my.
They might not, but again, but I was just saying that if you do think that if you're Holman and you do want him at attack, and Holman thinks that the best place for him to be is at attack and not Matt, then I don't know. I don't think you could sit him these next 2 weeks. I do think it's hurt with injured, and I don't think he's injured if he's playing. But I thought he played very well. That and then I think that just the big acquisition, obviously Conrad for the second round pick.
Yeah.
What do you think for the Waterdogs? Is this a complete rebuild? Because they got a lot of free agents coming after this year.
I don't know what they got to do. I'm very curious, and like I'm not one to come for guys' jobs. I'm curious if Tierney's staying over the offseason because seems a little bit like there's a bit of a like the Waterdogs used to be the team that like everyone was like, oh, these guys like kind of have like this camaraderie, this and that. Like they always show up. They have all these just gritty guys who are going to play. And it doesn't seem like they're having that same kind of fun, gritty year they've had. I know they've been losing. I know that sucks, but it just seems off, little off from spectator Nestler view. So I just wonder if a coach's change is coming. I think you can change coaches and keep the same locker room. I think if you're keeping Tierney, you blow up the roster, and there's a lot of ways to rebuild quickly in this league, in my opinion, and it could very well start with CJ Curse. So I don't know. I think CJ Curse on a wing and Sowers at X could look pretty dangerous, but who knows? That's just me.
Yeah, it depends. I think that like if you get like it depends on like what happens with McCardle. Does he stay? Do you go for the Chris Cav? Because I think Chris Cav could be in the conversation by the time the draft rolls around. I think it all just depends on what your roster looks like and the fit. But yeah, I mean, this could be if they rebuild, it's gonna be a faster rebuild than people think. The one thing is like if you get like CJ, keep that. I think you have to keep that midfield together. Like, what does your defense look like? Who retires? There's just question marks surrounding. Like I think they have like 11 guys that are set to hit free agency, which a lot of those guys could come back. So you don't know what a rebuild will look like, but this could be championship contender again next year, depending on who comes back and when. And again, they are. Do I think they need to blow the whole thing up? No. I think they just gotta reevaluate. And I think that like, again, I'm not the biggest like take a look at like the face-off position. I think you got to either figure that out in the draft, figure it out in free agency, figure it out with trades. Maybe you try to get someone like P.D. LaSala. Like, I think he's a better fit than Stathakis. But, like, is Tierney just going to ride the fucking Denver dick until the day he dies? Like, it's like just because you recruited a guy out of high school, I don't know. Like, and again, the messaging in the locker room when he comes to someone like Tierney, I think he does get it a little bit more than people will give him credit. I think that it'll take like if you look at someone like Pressler who comes from the college game to the pro, I think he's kind of like figured out how to talk to the locker room and the kids, or not the kids, the locker room, and like how they're like coaches and how they actually like know shit. So I still think you shouldn't pull the plug completely. It's not like unless like he wants to. I do want to say like if you do keep Tierney, you shouldn't blow it all up for a rebuild. He's 72 years old. He's not going to be around for a rebuild. Like he came to the Waterdogs because it made sense to like in a win now situation. So like,
sure, that's a good point.
I do think that in his special situation, you do have to just run it back and kind of find a new approach. But yeah, I mean, again, like think about all those 1-goal games. If half of them go the right way,
we're not talking about this,
right? And that's the difference.
We've been like defending the Dogs. We're like the last men standing defending the Waterdogs. You know, Jordy threw the towel. He's the Waterdog fan. He threw the towel in like 3 weeks ago. You know, shout out Jordy, sex haver. He's very busy today. We didn't touch on that. Jordy, you're a legend. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. Like, I believe the Dogs were like a win or two away from being right there in line to make the playoffs, and now they're out, and that sucks. I don't think you should blow it up, but I'm saying if you do, I don't know. Like,
I'm just saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying you shouldn't blow it up. Like you were in the championship game 2 years ago. You were in the championship game last year. You won the championship 2 years ago. You won the championship last year. You win the championship series championship game lost in overtime this year.
Did the Cannons kill the Waterdogs, or did Doogs kill the Waterdogs?
Potentially, but like it's just like how do you go to like how do you have a 72-year-old go through a rebuild?
I don't think a rebuild's like you said though. A rebuild doesn't take much. It's just, a rebuild in this league is just sign a couple new guys that are nasty. Like it's not like
if somebody retires on defense, it's like okay, like you get someone to free agent like.
You get the second or third best defender in the draft. You're going to take CJ Curse 1, and then you draft again 7 picks later.
But even the Waterdogs' like best defender, Liam Burns, was out for more than half the year.
I don't know. I just think if you did, because he's not going to get rid of all 11 free agents, but I'm saying like get rid of 5. If you want to do that, if you don't think it's working, then get rid of like 6 of them. Keep 5.
Yeah, I just think I think that like you have to just look at like the areas of like, all right, well, like face off, you need someone that's better in the 32 second, in my opinion.
And you think that's Petey Bang Bang?
I mean, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Just bring him to camp and find out.
I think the Fogo matters. I think I'm with you. I think they should experiment the Fogo position because I think it's very important and matters a lot.
I don't think it matters a lot.
Like when I say a lot, I mean like a lot more than we even give it credit. I think. And I mean that.
Let me see.
Doogs is researching. Listeners out there.
2-2. 2 games were won this weekend from the winning face-off team. They were both the Whip Snakes. And then the team that had the advantage in 2 losses lost. And
wait, so
you're telling me the Redwoods had the advantage.
So the Redwoods won more face-offs than the Outlaws.
Yeah.
Well, they have TD Ireland. Okay, fair. And then
17-7. And then the Archers.
Out face.
Archers won face-offs 23-9.
Okay. So we're even, just like we always are in this.
Should I keep going?
If you want to, you're gonna statistically, it's gonna be the face-off.
No, because then in some weeks, like I bet you, like in San Diego, like I'm just looking at the scores. Like San Diego, it's probably, I bet you more face-offs was like 3-1.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a believer that they like. I think it's almost like an unmeasurable way that matters. Like we talk about, like in the key situations, I think that can be the difference in game. Like when you're the Atlas and you're down 4 goals late, and all of a sudden you score 1, you score 2, you're like, well, we're getting the ball back.
Yeah, but I also don't. I like evening it out more.
What does that mean?
Like I liked if you. I hate. I hate when one person can just dominate.
Well, I mean, if you're a good Fogo, you can battle Baptiste. Like shit, like he's not that good. Like
I think like the 32-second did a good job at neutralizing how much because then if you're like I think the 32-second is like a good rule. That's like my hot take.
It's grown on me because it makes a lot of sense. Because if you do go 24 for 24 from the faceoff X somehow, and you can burn 60 seconds off the clock, it's like, well, you just burned like that's 22 minutes of the game right there.
Right.
So the 30-second does do. It's grown on me. I like fast lacrosse. I don't want to go too far from. Like this is as fast as I want it. Like more, if we go lower on shot clocks and start doing shit like that, that's why I'm gonna have to speak up eventually because we have sixes. Sixes is fine. I love sixes, but we have to keep the gap between sixes and field lacrosse big enough where it's like it can't blur.
I mean, they're not even like the same game. They're not even comparable. I think that like
we don't want to go
anybody. Wait, hold on. No, my turn. It's when you talk about like the college games, like the pro game, and like, well, like I like how the college game has like 80-second shot clocks. One, it's a bigger field. Two, it's even in college basketball. Like it's the difference between 30 and 24. 30-second shot clock in college basketball, and you could really tell the difference in the speed. If you're giving a professional lacrosse player or professional basketball player the ball on the offensive side of the court or the field, they're talented enough that they should do something with a shorter shot clock.
That's fair, but I said I like it. I don't want to go any shorter. That's it.
Yeah, but I don't think it is. Like it's down to like a science. Like they haven't even tried to like shorten it at all. They haven't even experimented with shortening it.
My timeout rule.
Yeah.
You didn't agree with it. I think
you think that you shouldn't be able to call a timeout
until you at least cross over. We'll call it midfield. Like I think that's fair. I think it should be the box, but the box isn't really a thing, and like it's different.
Yeah, I mean I get it for college because you have to touch the box. Like you have to get over the midfield line in a certain amount of time, and then you got to get into the box. Like I look at it from like a basketball point of view, where like if you have a timeout, like and you have a trap, like that's how I look at it. Where I think you should be able to use your timeouts however you want.
Okay.
I didn't hate your argument though.
Okay.
I do think like you like it doesn't reward like a good ride, but like you do have to waste a timeout.
Yeah, but timeouts like aren't that fucking valuable in my opinion. I really don't think they I think yes, they serve a time and place. I think it's way more valuable. I think you'd much rather cause a turnover or potentially cause a turnover than have another team burn a timeout.
Can I rebuttal?
Yeah.
Do you think it was valuable for the Carolina Chaos to have that timeout so that they could clear the ball?
Yeah, because they could burn it in the fucking. It makes timeouts more valuable because you can hold on to them and be like, oh, if we get a turnover with 30 seconds left, we basically get 2 chances to clear the ball. Run as hard as you can. If you run into a triple team, boom, timeout. Field empties, we'll do it again.
I wonder the exact scenario why they can't get it within the arc, but like even when a team like crosses midfield and they like call a timeout, like a timeout with like the Waterdogs last week, they got called a timeout to set up like with 20 seconds left a play. I don't know. I think just as much as you think, like I think timeouts are important in any sport.
No, they're important. I don't think they're like I think it's more valuable to cause a turnover than to have your opponent burn a timeout. That's what I'm getting at. Like that would have changed the game if like that could have potentially been an easy turnover for the Archers. Goal. Like they had his ass. He was dead. He was dead to right. Get that ball, fucking transition. Everyone's subbing off to the chaos. Like, that's a fucking goal for the Archers. And then because they have a timeout, it's like, oh, well, we made a burn one. Well, it's like, well, good. They had one to – well, clearly they had one to take to the fucking grave with them because there was 30 seconds left. So that's my again, it's fair. You see my –
Also, like, when you talk about, like, rewarding the ride, I think it's a fair point. But it's like with the PLL field, I don't know how much you really have to, like – you don't really have that much space to run with. So it's not really rewarding a ride. It's more of
that's ridiculous. The field is still fucking huge.
Dude, I don't think it's as big as you think it is.
Bro,
it is a lot. I think those 10 yards are fucking crucial.
Yeah, it makes a difference, but the field's still big, man.
I don't think it's
not
that
like they're
big.
playing in an indoor like NLL field. Like, I mean, the field's huge. It's a little smaller than a football field. There's 22 guys on a football field, and they're all on the same part of the football field. At least this one, they're split up. There's so much fucking room to run. These athletes are crazy. They can run everywhere.
If you were in cage, and you had a player on a fast breaks midfield in college, they are still far away.
They're about
you cross the field on a PLL field at midfield, you're immediately a threat.
How far is midfield from the goal in the PLL? I bet you it's at least 30, 35, 40 yards. 35 yards.
Wait, 70. So midfield would be at 50 yards.
All 70 yards away from each other.
So what, 35?
Are they 70 yards away from each other?
The two goals?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to put it out. Yeah. 35. So, like, that's still deep as fuck. And the field's wide. The field's wide. You're only 40 yards from midfield in college. You're at the 10-yard
line. But I'm saying that 10 yards is way more than you think.
5. It's 5 on each side.
It's 10 yards from the midfield, basically. You're taking away 10 yards. You're taking 10 yards in the middle of the field. And yes, that's 10.
Yeah, so it's only 5 yards short.
I'm not looking at it from the end line. I'm looking at it from the 10 yards being in the middle of the field.
Correct, but when they cross midfield, there's 10 yards at midfield, so 5 on one side, 5 on the other. So I'm saying instead of 40 yards in college, when they cross the midfield in college, he's 40 yards from me. When he crosses the midfield in the pros, he's 35 yards from me. Yes,
I would like you to step into goal and visually see when a player is running down from college at 40 yards to 35 and see how much of a difference it is.
I
don't think that you can. I don't think numerically that you could just say like it's just 10 yards and like it's not that big of a difference until you visually see it.
But the part you're missing is that it's 5 on my side. Like that's not that much.
I think it is.
But like you made it seem like the field's fucking tiny.
It's not tiny. I think
because lacrosse fields are huge. Bro, there's so much room in field lacrosse. Either way, we can argue about dimensions of the field all day. But
I think the difference when you see a PLL game on TV to a college lacrosse game on TV, the difference in the field, to me personally, is huge.
I guess that's fair. I also think you're
the college lacrosse field looks fucking enormous.
I think you're also not taking into account that 90% of college lacrosse games are taped from like behind like stadium seating on like bullshit cameras, and the PLL's using the. I ain't watching
Salisbury versus Cabrini. I'm watching ESPNU.
See, we're having a civil conversation, and you always have to bring up something in my life that died. Something that died in my life. It's never yours. You have it all, Mama.
2020 lacrosse season, 2020 basketball season. I lost it all, man. No, but I'm serious. Like I do know, like for sure, some camera angles make the field look so much bigger. But like even when you're watching the quarterfinals on like Hofstra, like the field looks fucking enormous.
That's fair.
I just think that like in college, when you're looking at someone and you see like a pole and you can use like Jared Connors crossover midfield, it's like he's not a threat. Like he's never a threat. Like you're gonna be able to pick him up.
No one in the world is a threat when they cross midfield. Like they did.
I totally disagree with you, Nestler.
There's no one that could score on me from within 5 yards of midfield.
When Jared Newman crosses midfield, across the midfield in the PLL, he is immediately a threat.
Dude, he has to take.
He's a threat from 25 yards.
Dude, 25 yards, bro. That is like that's 10 yards from the tip of the 15-yard.
You're a threat. Do you know what a threat is? Like, you can pull it up, and you're gonna have to take him serious.
Fair. I'm
not like saying like it's like easily a goal or it's like the smartest decision, but at 25 you have to take him serious. Like, you get what at 25? At 25 you crow hop, and that's like a shot from 20.
I'll give you that. Okay, fair. And 20 is dangerous. I'm not gonna act like I've been scored on from 20, so I'm not one to 20. 20 is tip of the box in college. That's goal line to box. It's 10-yard line to the 30. So 20 is people pull from 20. That's fair. And people in the PLL pull from 20. It's just
right. That's what I'm saying. Like 25.
You're right. One crow hop away from the fastest shot in the world blowing by your earlobe at 20. All right.
Wait, I want to do this one more thing. Because if you're in college, if you went 10 yards, you'd be at 30, and if you crow hopped, that'd be 25, which you're not a threat.
Wait.
You see what I'm saying?
No.
So let's do a crow hop as 5 yards, like a crow hop like shot.
Right.
Like you're winding up I'll give you 5 yards to shoot it. Right? So if you cross the midfield in college and you go 10 yards, you're at 30, and you wind up and you shoot it. That's at 25. The difference between that and you're not a threat at the 25-yard shot. Correct. But in the PLL, when you cross the midfield and you go 10 yards, you're at 25, and you wind up and shoot, you're at 20, which I think that that is a huge difference.
Sure. Okay. But I don't think it matters in the clear. Like, I bet you PLL clear percentages are disturbingly high. That was going to be my argument, that the clearing is too easy. And it is what it is.
I agree. No, I agree with that.
That's why proof for the field's plenty big is because, dude, no one turns the ball over on clears. It's like, bro.
I agree with that. I think clearing. I bet you clearing is astronomically higher.
Yeah, like college clearing, like 90, 95 is like, yeah, we're gonna be good in the locker room there. You get into the 80s in college, like you're in a bad spot. Like if you do 80 in the pros, like you're probably down by fucking 7 goals because every turnover is gonna be a goal.
Look this up.
That's fucking field dimensions for the listeners right there. That's how you talk field dimensions.
Let me see. Let's look. PLL World. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look up. What should I look up?
Are you looking up the dimensions of the field?
Shot clock, offside, no. Standard gameplay, initiating play of the game.
Probably. I could also probably just look up.
All right, I'm gonna look at this. Clear. A successful clear occurs when a live ball is in team's offensive half of the field within 20 seconds of the start of the shot clock. Except during time of the game clock shall run continue during the last minute of each.
There's got to be a clear percentage stat somewhere.
Wait. I bet you there's a reason.
A reason for what?
Because now I'm looking. It says that. Am I being stupid? So the game clock shall run continuously during the first 11 minutes of each regulation period. During the last minute of each regulation period, the game clock shall switch to stop time. An example, game clock stops and starts on the whistle.
Wait, there's running clock in the PLL?
No, right?
Well, no. So, all right, hand up. I've seen the clock run at games before, and I sat there and said, "Hey, clock's running," and no one really acknowledges it. I'm pretty sure that on shots to the end line, it's a running clock.
Yes.
And after goals, it stops.
Right.
So I think it's end line shots and change of possession. So like you don't really notice it. It's really like it is minimal. I think it's stupid. I think that's a ridiculous rule. The games aren't that long. You don't need to like nickel and dime for seconds. But yeah, I think that's when it runs. So like timeouts, goals, and like review everything else, it stops besides any like quick change of possession. So you're losing like close to like 30 seconds a game, maybe a minute.
Yeah, but also like, all right, we're splitting hairs here now. I don't even know if this is podcasting, but like, I feel like if you just because then if the clock stops, right, like after like a missed shot, correct? Couldn't I just like say Michael Sauer is just hanging out behind X? Couldn't I just like miss a shot just to like set up like Michael Sauers to have the ball with like stop play?
Wait,
like,
are you saying like in general in like life? Like
with a stop clock.
Yeah, you can do like
you have to like stop the shot clock, and like can't you like do like subs of some sort? Not with the horn, but just like.
I mean, you can go, but like Sauer, if he doesn't go to pick up the ball,
like you can walk to go pick up the ball, and then you can like do a sub or some shit.
Correct,
which would slow down the game. I don't like that.
But the shot clock doesn't keep running though. I don't think off end line shots. I think it's just the game clock. The shot clock's too short to keep running. There's no way that clock runs.
Interesting.
I think.
All right, whatever. This is breaking my brain.
I don't mind it stopping because that's playing the game. Like you shoot the ball, you get your offense set up. But like you also risk it if dickhead shoots it and throws a cupcake and the goalie saves it. Well, now they're going the other way with it, and not every possession shot's created equal. Billy Football thought you could yell possession shot and it just counted as a possession shot.
That's awesome.
Threw the ball into the
wall. Rocks.
And just goes possession shot, and the ref called it the other way. And Billy goes, "I called possession shot." And the ref goes, "That doesn't mean anything."
That's hilarious.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen on a lacrosse field. It was incredible.
All right, well that's talking field dimensions, and just my brain just broke for a little bit. I'm not even kidding. Like I have an aneurysm coming.
You dove into your rule book there. You got nitty gritty.
Yeah, it's just like trying to figure this out. It sucked, but wow, that broke my brain. All right, this weekend, where are they going? They're going to Denver.
Yep. Boston bye week for the Cannons. Kirsty's going to be tanning on the beach.
Tomorrow, August 9th, Whipsnakes at Outlaws. Outlaws minus 110 money line. Maryland minus 120 money line. Maryland's minus 1.5 on the spread, and then you could figure out those the juice on that. But what's your play in this one?
Stagnita and the Whipsnakes are on fire, baby. It's my flashlight play of the week for those viewers out there. Give me the Whipsnakes. I think they look really good. It's good to see Coach Stagnita out there having a good time, smiling away. So I think those boys are dialed. When the Whipsnakes are loose and they're playing well, they're dangerous. We touched on them earlier. They are dangerous. So give me the Snakies.
Yeah, I think the Whips still look really good. I think Conrad on that team, subbing in for Dordovic, and also just like what they're going to be able to do with 32 seconds. I think Conrad's the perfect player for that, like to come off the wing. And then, having him and Nardella next to each other, that's scary. So,
Nardella.
I think that maybe enough people will be on the Whips where I might take Denver in this one.
You think everyone's going to be hot and bothered on the Whips right now? These games are late as fuck.
Fuck it, I'm taking the Whips.
Yeah, word. I was going to say, don't be a dickhead.
I'll take the Whips. Game number 2, Waterdogs at Redwoods. Redwoods plus 1.5, plus 145 money line. Waterdogs minus 188 money line with nothing to play with, really, Nest. What's the play in this one?
Give me the Waterdogs. I think we're going to get cursed together in California on the Redwoods. There'll be 2 cursed on the Cannons, 2 cursed on the Woods. Losers game's taking cursed. I know you were joking earlier about Kavanaugh going first. It's a good bit you got going on. But it's cursed. I mean, he's the best player in the world. He's unbelievable. He's the future. He's a physical specimen. Chris Kavanaugh is unbelievable. It's fun. It's okay to be second. It's okay.
I'll send him that clip when he holds up his second national championship in the Torch on at the end of the year.
That's fine.
Anybody that thinks that Chris Cav isn't seriously in the number 1 discussion is a fucking joke.
That's not. I mean, okay.
It's Chaminade versus Del Barton. It's Long Island versus New Jersey. It's good lacrosse versus like.
Say it.
It's Jersey.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Not quite New York. It doesn't quite get the name right.
I'm gonna be in Long Island tomorrow, bro. I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. Why are you coming?
I'm going to see shots, bro. I'm seeing rubber. I always need to see more rubber.
Good luck.
I'm seeing rubber from like high school kids. I think it's a lose for me.
Against
Where?
where?
Where? Somewhere Smithtown, close to you.
Who are you getting shots from?
Mitch is doing some sort of video, and he needed like a goalie. He's got like the Syracuse goal, some like current goalies. He was like, "Love to have you suit up in your Cabrini gear," and I was like, "I'm down."
That's hilarious.
Sure
yeah, I think just by principle, I'm gonna have to take. I think the Waterdogs will fight a little bit. Just again because it might be like the last time that they're all together, retirements, whatnot. I think they'll fight toward the end. I'll take the Dogs. Why not? But yeah, and also BJ Farrar, the Penn legend, is now with the Redwood. So we'll see if he suits up. Rosters still aren't out. That leads us into Saturday. Atlas, Archers. Atlas minus 135 money line. Archers plus 105. Nestler, what you got?
The Atlas plus money, dude. One of the best teams in the league. Again, like the Archers.
Now plus money.
I thought you said they're plus 105.
No. That's the Archers.
Oh, fuck. Shit, I'm a sucker for plus money. Fuck it. Give me the Archers. That's who I want to bet on. I want where the money's at. I think it's going to be close. I loved the Atlas when I thought they were the underdog for a second there, but give me whoever's the underdog is going to win this game. And this is both teams haven't played their best of their best lacrosse the last few games, I don't think. I think the Atlas have cooled a little bit, but I think they both need this game in different ways. The Archers really might need this game.
I got Archers.
They're probably with Philly and California, it makes the playoff race a little less exciting. But if the Woods win and the Archers lose, then I think the Woods might have a path. There might be life in California. I don't think they've been eliminated. I think it's just the Waterdogs. So I don't know. I'll be betting on the Archers. That's just for the final decision.
Yeah, I got the Archers. And then last game of the weekend, Chaos versus Outlaws. This is just basically a coin flip. Who you got?
Oh, the Outlaws really going to go 0 for 2? I guess they are. Give me the Chaos. Fuck.
I got the Outlaws. No way they go 0 for 2. Well, something happened.
That's what I'm thinking. You getting attacked.
Outlaws. That's all I really got. Ness, you got anything?
Just hope everyone's having fun. Keep watching lacrosse. It's almost playoff time, baby. We made it.
Have a good weekend. Enjoy. See you guys.